ProKennex, in partnership with top multi-racket sport pro athlete Daniel De La Rosa, updates their Black Ace paddle line with the LG. Displaying his professional colors of white and pink, this paddle has an extended 5.8-inch length handle for unparalleled reach and leverage-based power. It weighs in just shy of 8 ounces and is crafted with a Toray Carbon Fiber hitting surface and a 10mm polypropylene honeycomb core. Featuring ProKennex's patented Kinetic System Technology, this paddle offers reduced vibration and comfort in a power-packed package. Now Mark, you have a cannon for an arm, so power is no stranger to you. What did you think of this Black Ace?
Well, thank you very much. It doesn't seem to have much effect on this gentleman, but I'll take that as a compliment for sure. This, in my opinion, is ProKennex's finest paddle thus far. I've really gravitated towards these paddles in the past. My quirk or gripe about them would be they're just lacking a little bit of weight, particularly in the tip of the paddle, just not giving me that high of a swing weight. This checks most all the boxes for me. I like the elongated length. As Will mentioned, this is a 5.8-inch handle length. We got a 10mm core width and a Toray Carbon Fiber surface. So I'll start off with spin potential. I thought the spin potential was sufficient, but not outstanding. I've noticed this with ProKennex paddles. One thing about them is the surface doesn't wear off over time. So a lot of paddles start off a little more gritty, but it does wear off over time. This thing seems to play pretty consistent over a long period of time. The weight being around 8 ounces, I can definitely feel the stability. In addition to that, the 10mm core definitely does not hold the ball very long on the paddle face. It pushes it off. It is another source of power. So I would say it probably took me a few minutes to kind of get used to the power. But then after that, I got to play my own game and it still had the same effect on you, which was not great.
Yeah, I like the weight. It hovers around that 8 ounces, which is something I typically like. Now, the thinness of the paddle is not something I would typically gravitate towards, and it kind of scares me a bit because of that, that extra power that it's going to offer. I really need that control boosted in with the paddle to affect my game. So initially I was kind of hesitant, but the first few hits I was very surprised. This paddle swung through the air very easily, is very whippy, so I really appreciated that. Now, this paddle is loud, so if you hit somewhere where noise is an issue, just be aware of that. Now, you talked about spin. I didn't see anything that stood out as far as spin-wise. I got kind of the spin I needed. It was maybe a little bit less. Now, it took me about 30 minutes to adjust to this paddle just because it was so powerful, and I usually play with a thicker paddle. So that power was there, my shots were going out, and I really had to kind of dial it back. But it was a good thing because it made me think about my shots, and I'm trying to do that in my game in general. So I was trying to think about where my ball was going, trying to put a little less power on it, really place the ball. So I really appreciated that out of the paddle. Now, because of that extra power and that lack of control that I'm used to, I have to say this hit surprisingly well. This is a power paddle that has a really good amount of control to it. Now, ProKennex has this kinetic technology in it, which is said to reduce vibration and add a little bit of comfort. I can't directly correlate that, but I can say a paddle with this construction, I was not expecting to feel such a dampened feel. What did you think about that?
I agree. I'm always a little skeptical of a really thin paddle in terms of comfort. I know I'm going to get the energy return, but what I really want is my cake and eat it too to get a good level of comfort out of it. As with their tennis rackets and racquetball rackets, little silica beads in the upper portion of the face really help sponge up vibration. So I would say that was a standout feature. And talking about the fundamentals, 8 ounces, paddle length, all that stuff, that makes this paddle very similar to others. Where this one really thinks outside of the box is we've got the edge guard, which is replaceable. And you spoke about the kinetic technology. So I would give a big hand to ProKennex to just kind of push the envelope of paddle construction and evolution. Most of the other paddles out there seem to be kind of copies of another paddle, and they do work well. But I think there's a lot of room for paddle construction and design improvement, and this one's definitely tip of the spear.
Now, you and I played many singles games, and I have to say this paddle is great for my singles game versus doubles. Has that power that I need, especially when I'm at the baseline a lot. Now, when I'm at net and I'm in a lot of volley exchanges, I noticed that the sweet spot was maybe a little bit smaller than something I'm used to. It was very noticeable on shots where I was hitting a bit off center, but again, that whippiness, the whippiness of the paddle was really nice when I was in volley exchanges. I could get my paddle on my forehand, backhand side really fast, so that was nice.
Yep, I would concur. The sweet spot was sufficient. not overwhelming, and I think it maybe has something to do with the thickness of the paddle. Outside the sweet spot, you're getting, I wouldn't call vibration, I was still getting stability, but it just didn't feel quite as sweet if you're nailing it right in the middle of the black ace there.
Overall, I really enjoyed this paddle. I totally judged a book by its cover. I'd probably recommend it to someone 4.5 or above, just because I think you really need to rely on that consistency and shot placement. What do you think?
I agree. This would be, I wouldn't say you have to be a professional to play with this paddle like Dual Star Athlete DLR, but it's got some weight to it, it's got some liveliness, it's something will take a little time to figure out, but it's going to click with your game, whether you prefer it on singles or doubles. I think it's just a pretty versatile paddle all the way around. For more information on this paddle or anything else pickleball related, be sure to visit totalpickleball.com.